Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero, and welcome to I Live Under Your House, which is a horror game where you're a horrifying monster that lives under someone's house. I open my eyes and here I am, home again. It's such a wonderful feeling. As usual, no one. That's good. That's very good. I like being alone. This is a nice hole you got going here. This is the main hall. How nice it is here. Every time I come here, I feel joy and pride because I dug all these holes. I don't even know which hole to go into first today. There's a lot of holes here. How about straight ahead? I rarely go outside, especially since he's waiting for me on the way. There's a spirit standing right at the exit, and every time I pass by, he starts talking to me. I don't like to intercourse with him. Right one. Every tunnel is different. For example, this one is narrower than the others. Sometimes I think I might get stuck in it, and then my heart starts beating harder. My whole body gets tense. I can't help it. I have to move slowly if I want to get out of it. I love this feeling. Hello there. I need to find something sharp to open it up and see who she used to be or what she was become. Weird. Yeah, I'm going left one then. Ahead of me is my pebble space, where I keep the different stones I find during my excavations. I like to look at them, to stroke them. Oh, how I like to stroke them. Sometimes I even dream about stroking a stone, and the feeling is so real. I can feel it at the tip of my fingers. I love stones. Oh, those are some pretty good stones, no wonder. I found a rock sharp enough to cut through someone's belly. Oh, that's great. Well, we can use that to cut through that worm's belly. This is my sleeping place. This is where I usually sleep. Although I can sleep anywhere, I still prefer to sleep here. Let's go cut the belly before we do anything else. She died when I was born, or so it seemed to me. I never knew my father, and maybe a creature like me has no father at all. For as long as I can remember, I've been alone all my life. At first I just watched her body, hoping maybe something else would crawl out of it and I would have a new relative. However, this did not happen. I talked to her body from time to time out of loneliness. Though I moved and made different sounds rather than spoke. Moo! I had to eat its various parts because I was hungry. So I am grateful to her. If not for her sacrifice, I would have died. Over time, I began to notice that her body was crusting over. The places I had been in were getting scarred. I realized that she was still alive, so I started eating her body more carefully. Tried not to take too big a bite. Layer after layer of her body grew a kind of crust, eventually forming a cocoon through which I could no longer penetrate. I don't know how much time had passed since then, but I waited. I waited long enough for something to happen, but nothing happened. It's a pity she never saw what a beautiful creature I had become, how many tunnels I had dug. Well, now I'm sure I'm all alone in the world. Great, I'm tired of worrying about her. The remnants of the creature I came out of. I was worried that I would come out of the cocoon and I want to eat me or avenge all my bites. But apparently it just decided to die quietly. Now my anxiety was gone. You go to sleep now? They're laughing at me. Every night when I try to sleep, they come to me and make fun of me. They laugh. They have so much fun when I cry. They watch during the day and wait for me to do something stupid, looking for opportunities to make fun of me, so they can come and laugh at night. Sometimes they talk to me. They whisper things. They want me to go outside. After a night of torture like this, I usually wake up tired and hungry. So I crawl outside in search of food. What terrible noise! Is someone digging? Is there a contractor up there? I won't stop! What the hell? I don't seem to have any other choice. I have to go outside and see what's going on. There you are. I knew you'd show up soon. It's because of those noises, isn't it? I don't want to leave my home. It won't be subside on its own. Nonsense. Maybe they came to take your home. Maybe they came for you. Who knows what's making those awful noises? You must come out. Okay, so I'm out, and then what? You know what's next. The same thing you always do, the same thing you do when you're hungry, what makes your breathing quicken and your whole body tingle. It's time to go outside again. As soon as I crawled out into the open air, a disgusting sight came into view. There were metal creatures everywhere, and a horrible-looking structure stood before my eyes. Cars and houses? I had no specific plan of action, but one thing was obvious to me. There was construction going on, and they were building right over my head. It was a contractor, and something has to be done about it. There were too many people around, and I couldn't act out in the open. I had to wait for the right moment, and I started watching. You vile creatures will pay for disturbing my peace. How big are we? Yeah. Bees, bees, bees. Wish I had two of you. I have to be careful, though. If they find me, it's all gone. But I can't do nothing either. My strength is enough to deal with only one of them. But maybe if you kill one... The hunger is getting stronger. And stronger. No strength to hold back. Something has to be done. Kill or spare? Well, this is a multiple ending game, I believe, so we'll kill. Yum, yum, yummy bee. This is my skull room. Oh, you have a skull room now. It's not just pebbles. After the first time I ate a human, I lay tired outside and didn't even have the energy to crawl back home. The very first one I had was some guy sitting in the woods, drinking beer and talking to himself. At first I didn't want to do anything to him. I was just interested in watching him. When he noticed me, he started laughing out loud and pointing his finger. Then he suddenly picked up a stick and started hitting me with it. When it was over, I lay there for a long time, looking at his skull. Over time, I have accumulated so many skulls for the Skull Throne that sometimes I burrow inside this pile and gradually fall asleep. I imagine it's pretty comfy in there. It's a good skull. Worker's skull. Another skull in my skull collection. I have absolutely no memory of how it all happens. It's like I'm in a wild ecstasy and it ends over. My stomach is full. My breathing is heavy and I want to sleep. Eventually the house was finished. Different people began to come and go from the house. The unbearable stopping was causing me to have anxiety attacks with every knock. What if they find me? What if it never ends and I have to move somewhere else? Where would I go? I don't have the energy to dig new tunnels. From time to time I had to crawl out to see if everything was okay, if they were looking for me. For some reason I had the distinct feeling that they had come to hunt me down. So, they finished building this house even after a worker was killed. Did they just, like, bury any information of that happening? Don't none of the other contractors get a little questioning, like, hey, where did Mark go? Then one day people came in and dragged a huge number of boxes. A woman in a blue dress yelled at them. They waved her hands and everyone left. But the woman stayed in the house. Time passed, and no one else came to the house. It was just this woman, which doesn't look like a threat, I thought. However, pretty quickly my life turned into a nightmare. Pretty much my entire living area was right under this house. Every action she took, every step, every sneeze echoed through the depths of my sanctuary. Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero. Her life became part of my life. Gradually I got to know her schedule, what she does, how she does it, how many times she watches Manly Badass Hero, that cool YouTuber. I knew all her habits, the rhythm of her gait. I began to feel that my sleep was disturbed. I just couldn't sleep with something constantly pounding, muttering and shuffling over my body. In the few hours when I did manage to sleep, those ghosts of the night would come back to haunt me and make fun of me. Oh yes, now they really had a lot to laugh about. Plus my torture became a 24-hour routine. I have to do something about it, even at the risk of being caught, at the risk of losing my home. Who am I kidding? I don't have a home anymore. She took it from me. I must get out and stop this nightmare. Chapter 1. Love? Huh. A thrill of excitement overwhelms me. I no longer have the strength to hold back and watch from the sidelines. It's time to find out who lives above me. I need to look around and carefully before I act. Ooh. So first off, we are short and small. Like a little, goblin. Goblin. We've shifted perspectives. I like when games, do a little, throw you off. You're empty like my soul. Actually, no, it's not empty. Never mind. This is the first time I've ever been inside a human house. There's so much space it makes me sick. Nothing worse than this is the outdoors. Nice. Blinds are closed. Well, this one's open. Ah, I know what it is. It's called a book. Once upon a time I was very hungry, and just at that moment, a little man sat down next to the entrance of my home. I remember he had little hands, little feet, and he was like a puppet. That little man also had a bag with him. I was a kid. I don't remember being aware of all the dangers of this world at the time, so I climbed out of my hiding place with interest and began to look at him. Like Golem. The little man didn't notice me right away. But when he did see me, his eyes widened and his mouth opened in that unimaginable way. It made a horrible, disgusting sound. That sound was driving me crazy. I wanted to get closer to him. He kept crawling farther and farther away from me. Eventually the feeling came over me, and then all I remember was his head in my hands. His body was lying somewhere nearby. His bag he had brought with him was slightly torn, and then I saw books scattered around. I don't know why they caught my eye, but I took them with me. Many pages were badly damaged and stained with blood. Some pages were missing altogether, but it didn't stop me. I began to study them, and it was thanks to these books that I was able to learn the language of these creatures and get some idea of the human world. I found new books over time. For example, recently when I ate a couple of campers. I enjoy reading. I have to remember to pick this book up when I'm all done. Huh, this thing is so soft and comfortable. It's like earth after rain, but still better in the whole. I'm a couch potato. Humans have plants? I'm not familiar with human life, but I once saw construction workers staring into a similar dark box. They stared so intently and sometimes shouted something and raised their hands in the air. Goal! Strange creatures. These sick bastards are ripping out plants. Ah! So you did take a note of that and put them in containers. I find it difficult to understand the meaning of these perverse acts. Those doors are cracked open. I'm gonna check this door over here, but that implies that there's someone over there. It's locked. Oh, what a horrible, terrifying sound. I feel that thing, it scares me. Why human have bathtub? Why human have sink? Why human live in a house when you can just have perfectly good hole? I remember when people lugging these boxes here. I wonder what's in them. Useless stuff. Man, this world's so like green tone. I feel like I'm living in like a world that got consumed by Game Boy. That's it. There she is lying in front of me. All that's left to do is take the first step. But I don't dare. Why? Something is wrong. The mood is not the same. I don't feel the same rush of energy and unbearable restraint as before. Well, maybe I should come back later. Probably now is not the right time. Yeah, I should definitely keep an eye on her. Maybe it's a trap. Well, until next time, Bernie. Why couldn't I kill her? Could have had another skull to your skull throne. And all the sounds she makes now don't seem so disgusting to me. Are you falling in love? In a twisted way. I would even say that I became interested in hearing what she was doing. There's water running down the pipes somewhere. And here she seems to be taking things out of boxes. Huh. I wonder what she keeps in them after all. I think, when I was lying at her door, I felt something strange. A feeling I never had before toward another living creature. And so I look at the pile of skulls, and I want to take some of my best skull, my dearest one, and take it to her. Leave it at the door somewhere. Yes, that's a good way to pick up a goth. Here's my finest skull. I harvested it from a little boy down the street. What is happening to me? Now come live with me in my dirt hole. I have 3 pebbles. I'm a rich man where I come from. You got music? This pile of laundry. I could smell it as soon as I enter the room. That smell holds your breath. I'd never smelled anything like it before. Maybe I should take something with me just as a reminder. I decided to take one of her dresses with me. Whoa. She's in the bathroom. Door's closed. Newspapers? Still moving in, huh? Why so many papers? So she likes reading as much as I do. That's great. She reads so carefully that she even highlights individual pieces with circles. On one of the pages, I saw a picture of a headless body. Looks especially familiar to me. Oh yeah, she is trying to track us down, but I can't remember where from. Well, now that I know now what was in those boxes, I have to dig for them myself. She gathered all the articles that have to do with us. Strange, the bed is empty, and apparently she's not in the house either. Where could she have gone at this hour? I have to leave what I brought for her, and hurry back to the window in case she comes soon. We're even smaller than I thought. But yeah, that's a fine skull you got there, buddy. You had a good collection. So we come in for this room, huh? Where exactly? Or were we coming for the window? Here you are, back again. But something has changed in you. Nothing has changed in me. Everything is the same as before. Is it? I thought you liked being alone. It is, and I will always be alone. Sad face. I don't need anyone by my side. Why did you hesitate when you had a chance to kill her? What are you hoping for? What do you think will happen when she sees you? The same thing that always happens. Shut up! Your mere appearance will cause her to vomit. You're different from her. Shut up! Shut up, shut up! Or do you think she'll move here? Maybe, but only if in pieces, right? Oh, foreshadowing. Shut up, you violent spirit. I'll prove you wrong. I'll go back to her house right now and wait in her bedroom. And we'll go back to my place together. You understand? Antonio, you've changed. So they were drinking. Look, wine bottles. Wine. They threw out a bottle here. I like the little details. It's like the subtle storytelling. The laundry box is gone. There's nothing going on here. Bathroom is closed, and this is closed. Bedroom is open. Pretty sure she's gonna be waiting in ambush. We left a like damn skeleton in her like bedroom. A note addressing Mark. Mark, who is he? It doesn't remember to pick up the box from the nightstand. It contains candles needed for... I don't understand. A lot of words I don't know. Mary. Damn it, Mark, we did it! Take it to the basement. Pay attention. It's still moving. Should we just dismember it right in the basement? My whole body hurts terribly. What happened? I don't remember how I got here at all. I read the note and then... it hurts like I can't remember anything. I have to go home. Yes, it was a trap. They pretty much built and bought this house specifically to hunt us down. They're probably the parents of the kid or something. Front door is open. That's suspicious. Suspicious indeed. A trap? The window's closed. Chapter 2. Betrayal? Campground? Campers do taste good. This is the tent of those pesky campers. They obviously shouldn't have set up camp near my place. We're gonna go for the victims. So it is. It's almost like a dream sequence. So here's the campers. Because we did bring up campers, we ate some campers. Her dress. What is it doing here? How? If I didn't grab the dress, it might be a little different here. It definitely has had an effect on the progress of the game. This backpack is remarkably similar to the one the little man had. I remember how, in some fit of rage and hunger, I killed him, and books fell out of the exact same backpack. I took them, and that's how I learned to understand the language of humans. What's going on here? There's the kid. Now, I don't see any further lights. Now, I truly am a moth to a flame, aren't I? Is this some kind of, like, ceiling circle? What is it? Salt? It wasn't here before. My body feels weak and sleepy, so I think I should lie down for a while, but I need to go first. Did it really work? Why is that thing still moving? Fuck, something's wrong, Mark. I told you we should have dismembered it. At least we had a chance in the basement while I was passed out. You know it wouldn't help anyway. It can only be killed through ritual. That's what the book said. My whole body feels as if it is weightless. I can't move. I can barely look from side to side. What's going on here? That's her. The girl I risked myself for by getting out. Who's it with her? I don't remember him. What an ugly thing it is. You think it knows what's going on? Who cares what that thing understands, Mark? It killed our father. Why doesn't it die? That's what worries me. Oh, your father is the contract worker then, maybe. I mean, it could be. We've apparently been killing a lot of people, so who knows? You know, it's all bread to me. Ugly. Why does she say such hurtful words? She didn't like what I brought her. This is after all we've had. What a fool I was. I thought we were made for each other. It seemed to me that I knew her well, that maybe somewhere deep down in her soul she guessed about my presence and was waiting for me to come. Doesn't look like she did. We sure we haven't forgotten anything. Solomon's cell's holding it together, but I don't see foam from its mouth or blue flames or anything like that. Holy shit, Mark, ask me that? Well, yes, I'm asking you. You have the book. That's what I thought would happen someday. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I should really die. Why should I live? When she treats me like that, I feel something new again. As if 1,000 needles were tearing me from inside. Oh shit, Mark, I get it. We forgot. Don't tell me. Forgot the fucking candles, Mark. Fucking candles. I think my strength was coming back to me. Huh. I can move again. So that's how it is. So she wanted to get rid of me all this time. Well, you know, you brought me a lot of new sensations. Things that I haven't experienced before. And now, after everything that happened, I'm so tired and I'm really hungry. I want to take you out to dinner. Ah! Mark, I think it's gonna break out. You better start running. Now it's your turn to come to my house. Chapter Triple. Revelation. I moved into Mary's house. You could say she invited me herself, huh? Now she and I talk to each other a lot. I also began to better understand why people put flowers in pots. However, I don't use flowers. I like other things that furnish my surroundings. I also removed that awful black box. Now it says something that is pleasing to my eye. I think I can live here. Mary doesn't seem to mind either. I'm getting more and more used to open spaces. Mary and I will have to go down to my place one more time, though. We're expecting children. I can't imagine how it happened myself. But the larvae are already pretty big. They will need to be taken to my lair. After all, they are my children. They will be more comfortable there. By the way, the voices have stopped and I don't hear that awful laughter anymore. I think I now know what the word happiness means. Yet sometimes I feel sad. Thank you for playing. Ending Triple. So we definitely were like a weird insect thing then. Because even in the other one, when we said like the body you find deep down in the tunnels, we came out of them, right? So we're basically like maggots, except we grow into like monsterish golem monsters. Alright, let's get the other endings. I've seen people eat out of plates, use cutlery many times. Makes no sense to me. The contact of food is so pleasant. Sometimes I notice that I'd like not only to fit my sharp teeth into the victim, but then also to lie in its remains for a while, covered with warm blood, till it's cold. In the end, Mary was just another skull in my skull collection. From then on, the voices never ceased. They began to follow me during the day, the laughter never ended. But it didn't annoy me. I finally found the meaning of my existence, began to laugh with these bizarre creatures of the night. I began to enjoy waiting for new tenants, playing with them. Eventually, of course, my tunnels were discovered, but by this time I had already managed to move to another dwelling. especially since my collection has grown so much I needed more space. I also read in a newspaper that after my tunnels were discovered, they found the remains of my creator there. They say they've never seen anything like this in their lives. As for Mary, I can hardly find her skull among all these remains now. Not that I would like to, but I am grateful to her. After her betrayal, I realized my place in the world, and now I work non-stop, collecting skulls. When I get tired, I sit down and laugh non-stop, while looking at my trophy collection. Thank you for playing. I need number 2, Skulls with a Skull Throne. Okay, we spared the worker. Why am I here? Huh? Even the voices have gone silent. They're no longer laughing at me. The spirit no longer speaks to me too. I dream only of darkness. Ever since the day I killed Mary, I've been lying next to the cocoon of my creator. I don't do anything. I just lie there and stare into the darkness. I look at my body and it too is gradually crusted over. No one ever moved into Mary's house, so I could enjoy the silence, but I don't need it anymore. The crust is about to cover my eyes, then I'm asleep for I don't know how long, maybe even forever. From everything that happened to me, I understood only one thing. When I was at her bedside for the first time, when I saw her bare heel dangling from the bed, I should have eaten her at that moment. Ending 1. Thank you for playing. So, that's it for I Live Under Your House. A pretty atmospheric game. I tried to debate if you could call this body horror. You kinda can in some ways. It's a little more like we are horrific in ourselves and our actions, but we're not necessarily transforming into something. We're kind of already it, if you know what I mean. But it's an interesting premise, actually. It's a little unique. It feels like there could be some symbolism there for some things here and there, but I do take the story as literal, as in, you know, we were a monster of sorts. So, I like the writing. I especially like the tunnel sequence, where you're just kind of going for the tunnel. I like that little bit of claustrophobic vision view, and the way we're describing, like, oh, here's our pebbles, here's our dirt. It's interesting, it's a unique perspective. It's like, I'm a human earthworm. That does the kind of jump to the first-person horror game, and I think, you know, it makes it a little bit different. Like, it's kind of cool, like, the little medium shift. And throughout it, we can kind of see our thoughts and how our logic is a little bit twisted, which is kind of fitting for a monster in a way. Small note, I think based on that one, I think it was ending 1, where we would like very specifically described her feet, I think our monster friend started changing because they discovered they had a foot fetish. Wow, human feet are much better than the things I see down in my tunnels. But yeah, liked it. A horror game in the very classical sense, I would say. Anyway. So, thank you all for watching me play I Live Under Your House. I'll see you guys later, and take it easy.